Okay, just a little life update of what's been going on, because some of you sensed that something was wrong in one of my videos. Sorry. I have like no stomach muscles. It's 7 o'clock already. Oh my gosh. So, if you've been with my channel for a while, then you know back in April, my aunt in Florida, sorry I'm so tired, found out that she had cancer like in her back, and it turned out it was in her back and her lungs, I think on her kidney or liver. I can't even think straight right now. Anyway, around that same time, like, she knew she had cancer for like 3 weeks before she passed away. She thought she threw her back out. It was just really hard for me. It was at the very end of my pregnancy. My mom got back like literally the morning that I had the baby. It was crazy. But during that time, I'm trying to hold this stupid camera still. During that same time frame, Jay's mom found out that she had breast cancer. So since then, she has had 2 surgeries. Like, they did the first surgery and they were pretty sure that they got it all. But then they ended up just realizing or discovering that the tumor was bigger than they initially thought. So they went in for a second surgery and removed more. And then a few weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, she started on chemo. So she had her first round of chemo, and within a couple days, she was feeling so bad. She had Jay's dad call the squad, who came and got her and took her here to Lima to the hospital. And she was in there for like 6 days. Apparently, she had some kind of infection in her intestines, I think Jess said. So the chemo was like attacking that infection in her intestines, and just sending her into like excruciating pain, like fire pain throughout her whole body. She couldn't get comfortable. She was in serious pain. And yeah, she was in there for like 6 days. Well, yesterday she went in for round 2 of chemo. Like, she goes in and has it, and then she gets like 2 weeks off, or goes back 3 weeks later for the next one. And she has like a total of, I think, 15 weeks. A 15-week span. So we've had that going on. We went and saw her the other day, the night before her treatment, just so we could see her. She was in good spirits. Like, after that one treatment, she pretty much lost most of her hair already. So we've had that going on. And then just a couple weeks ago, we got a phone call, or Jay had called to talk to our landlord about something, and some guy answered, and he said, Jay's like, well, is Byron there? That's our landlord. And he's like, well, yeah, but he can't really talk right now. He's like, apparently he had fallen, or not, he got up one day and he couldn't walk because his hip hurt. And so they did testing on him. While they were doing testing on his hip, they found they was doing something with his nerves. They did like another test, an MRI, I think, and then that's when they discovered that he had an aortic aneurysm, which was like 8 centimeters, his daughter said. And they usually sleeve them when they're about 4 or 5 centimeters. His is 8. He's 84 years old, so like he's not like, I mean, he's in good health and everything, but he's just older. So they went in and did his surgery, and like while he was in recovering, his daughters called and said, they were, if something happens to their dad, the house goes to them. So they're just going to come and walk through the house. They live out of state. I think one lives in North Carolina, one lives in Florida. But while they were in town, the one was like, we were under the understanding that my dad was taking care of everything with this house, and he's not. Like, he always told us from the beginning, if something needs fixed, go ahead and fix it and tell me, I'll take it off the rent. Like, we just put a new garage roof on. Like, we paid for that. It's to come out of our rent. We've just done so much work around here. We've done so many things that we don't even, like, account for, because Jay and him have been talking about doing, like, a land contract for a while now, which that was, like, our plan. Well, now that his daughters are in town, they said they wanted to come and look through the house and bring an inspector and see what needs done with the house. So if something were to happen to their dad, they could get things fixed so that eventually they could put it on the market. So the one daughter came here, she was super nice. She came with her husband and an inspector. They looked around at stuff, and she's like, don't get worried. Don't think we're going to kick you out. She's like, you have a family here. You have a new baby. She's like, if it takes you, when it's time to sell, if something happens to my dad and we're ready to sell it, because they live out of state, they don't want to be landlords and deal with renting a house to somebody when they're states away, what I mean? Which I totally understand. So if it comes down to where they need to sell it, if we need 8 months to find a place, and we can have 8 months, like, she's not going to be in any rush to, get us out. That's what she had said. Last week, the other daughter, the one who he bought the house for to begin with, and then she moved out of state, so he's just been renting it out since then. We've been here for 8 years. She had called and said that she was coming over on July 5th with a guy to look at the basement. It's like, are you kidding me? We have our 4th of July party every year. It's like, okay, whatever. You know, he'll come in, go to the basement, look around at the basement. Like, our party didn't really officially end until like 1 a.m. So, and she said she'd be here at 3:30. So 2:30, the doorbell rings, and it's the basement guy. So he comes in, goes in the basement, does what he has to do. I was like, okay, so is she still coming? Because she said you guys were coming at 3:30. And he's like, well, I don't know if she's still coming or not, but I did what I need to do. Well, then 3:30 rolls around, she shows up. She's here maybe 5 minutes, and she's like, oh, she's like, don't freak out, but I have realtors coming here to walk through the house. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, they're going to walk through the whole entire house, like, room by room, to get an estimate on what the house is worth. It's like, my house is a disaster. I had a house full of people till like 1 a.m. There's toys everywhere. I was pissed. Like, you can tell me a basement guy's coming, but you can't give me a heads up that you're going to have 2 realtors come walk through the whole freaking house. So it's like, okay. And then when she gets here, she's like, well, I made a list. Like, this person's coming to look at the roof on this day. The plumbing and heating guy is coming on this day at this time. It's like, what the hell? Like, what if I had plans? Like, what if my kids have appointments, or like I have things to do and I'll just sit around and do nothing like all the time? Like, you couldn't ask me, hey, will these dates work? So we were home when the roof guy came. He was looking at the roof on the front part of the porch. He wanted to come inside and see where it leaks inside sometimes. It's leaked like twice, but so there's water damage right inside the front entryway. And she's like, if you're not home, don't worry about it. Well, we weren't home. We weren't going to sit around and wait. Then yesterday, the plumbing and heating guy was supposed to be here between 12 and 3. Like, I'm just going to sit around and wait for this guy to show up sometime in those 3 hours. Well, he didn't show up. And then at the end of the time frame, he called Jay and said he wasn't going to make it, that he would come today. But he told Jay, you know, by talking to them, they want to sell the house as soon as possible. So you guys better start looking for a place and get out like as soon as you can. It's like, what the hell? The one last week just told me that if it takes us 8 months, you know, we have 8 months. Like, it's no rush. They're just looking at what needs done. So if the time comes that something happens to him, you know, then they know what they need to do to be able to sell the house, because then they would be in their name. So then, yesterday we're talking to my neighbor, and he's like, oh, well, she came over to my house that day and was talking to him about fixing the driveway, which he's been trying to get my landlord to go half and half for like 10 years before we moved in to like fix the driveway, and he wanted no part of it. So she's like, well, get an estimate on that. She's like, well, who did your windows? Can you call around and find somebody to come do an estimate on the windows at, you know, this house? It's like, you don't have my neighbor do your work. Who does that? So my neighbor's like, you know, I'm not doing their game. I've been trying to work with the guy for 10 years. I'm not worried about it now. He's like, that's the least of my concern. I'm not going to call around and find somebody. She can do it herself. But he said that she told him, because when she came that day with the basement guy, she was supposed to go over like our new rental agreement, because our lease is up in July. It's always from July to July. We do like a 1-year lease. So she was going to go over that. But then when she was here, she's like, well, we haven't really decided on the rental agreement. It's like, okay, is it you or is it our actual landlord? Because they say he's doing great. He recovered fine. He's in great health. He can do anything he wants. He just hasn't driven yet. So it's like, okay, you don't have an agreement. Well, talking to my neighbor last night, she told him that they were going to do a month-to-month lease with us. And she wanted to get certain things fixed to put the house up for sale. But, you know, everybody's telling me, you know, if they're going to play that game, just wait it out and make them actually go through and evict us. Like, we're looking for a place, but there's 5 of us. I have a 2-month-old baby. Like, who the hell does that? Like, and so it's like, okay, if they're gonna, and she says she's gonna come here Friday. I said, well, Jay has an appointment. He's getting a vasectomy Friday morning. He's not gonna be up to having people over to go over our new lease and all that crap. But she still says that they're coming here anyway. The landlord might be with them. So we don't know if he signed the house over to them or if it's still through him. Because, like, if he hasn't signed the house over to them, we're not signing shit. Like, no, he's in charge. He's our landlord. You know, if something happens to him and it goes to you, then we'll deal with you. But I'm kind of to the point, I'm just, like, pissed. Like, don't lie to me and you know, beat around the bush. Be honest with me and tell me so I know what the hell is going on. So if it comes down to it and we have, like, 3 months and we don't find a place, we're literally going to be homeless because none of our family members have a big enough house for us all to stay with them. Like, I don't even know. My stepdad has the biggest house, but he's in the process of selling his. Like, he's looking to buy a new house that's smaller and sell his. It's like, even his house is not big enough to put, like, the baby's crib, Alex's crib, Adri's bed. Like, he doesn't have any beds there, so there's, like, no place that we can all go, let alone. So Jay will have to stay with his parents, and me and the kids will have to stay somewhere else, which, no, that's not the end of the world, but who wants to even consider doing that when they have a 2-month-old baby? Like, the whole thing just... Like, and everybody's telling me, you know, if they have to evict you, it could be like 4 or 5 months, maybe longer, before you have to move. But it's like, still, if we don't find a place with them, like, we need to find a place that we can afford. Like, Jay still pays child support on his other 2 kids. And we have a brain, like a new baby here. It's not like, I don't know. So we need to find a place that's around what we pay here, which we're probably not going to find. Especially, like, we were just looking at houses yesterday. We were out driving around for like an hour and a half. There's houses for sale. They're like half the size of this upstairs and downstairs. They want like $170,000. Like, for what? There's like no... It's like 1,200 square feet. Like, there's no room there. Like, this house is over 2,000 square feet. That doesn't include the full basement that we have full of stuff. And it doesn't include the finished attic. That's where all their toys are. So it's like... I don't mind going to something smaller, but it's got to be realistic. Like, I don't want to move somewhere that we're going to be miserable and then in a few months later have to move again. Like, we can't do that. So it's like, I'm overwhelmed with everything. I sit and look at the kids and I just like, what mother wants to think about being homeless with their 3 kids? Like, yes, we can have somewhere to stay and everything we own will have to be in storage, but literally we would be homeless. We would not have a home of our own. And it, I don't know, timing, like, we just did all this stuff here, put all this money into things here. We just got a new vehicle. And then 3 weeks later, they're telling us that we might have to move, that they're going to, like, sell the house out from under us. Like, so that's what's been going on. Like, I get in good spirits. I'm trying to stay positive, and then they'll call and something else will come up. It's like, and we drove around for an hour and a half last night. We saw, like, 3 houses for sale. Like, where we live, houses are staying on the market for literally, like, 2 days. We don't really want to rent, because if we go rent, we could be in the same situation again. Like, for the last couple of years, we've been just thinking we were going to do land contract and just, like, end up buying this place. And now it's, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I'm overwhelmed with everything. Stuff with Jay's mom, like, as of today, or as of yesterday, she was feeling pretty good. I don't even know if Jay talked to her today. It's been a crazy day today. They just have people coming and going. Oh, the guy didn't come today either. Jay's like, oh, well, he's not coming today. It's like, what the hell? I have everything waiting. I'm just sitting here watching and waiting for him to show up. He's not coming again today. Which we need him to change the air filter on the furnace, or on the air conditioning unit, and we need him to change the dampers so it's cooler up here, because in the winter, like for the furnace, we have more of the heat downstairs because heat rises and it already gets hot up here. So now we need the dampers switched. But now he's not coming. He gave her estimates over the phone. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. The thought of, like, literally not having a home. I said, I'm fine with moving. I just hope they give us time. Like, we're looking, but we're looking online. We're looking on, like, realtors on Facebook. We're looking on, like, driving around. And there's just, I don't know. So that's why if you hear me sound upset, it's just because we literally I might be homeless with 3 kids. Yeah. So cross your fingers for us that we find something that's, like, decent price range, decent size, and within a decent time frame, because I don't know what these people are going to do. They're supposed to come now Friday still and let us know what's going on, and it's pretty shitty. They can tell my neighbor that they want to do a month-to-month lease, but they haven't even told us anything like that. And according to the plumbing and heating guy, by the way they talk to him, they want things done as soon as possible so they can put it up for sale. So, yeah. We're just still waiting to find out what the heck's going on, and yeah, so send some good vibes this way for Jay's mom. There's, like, for the house situation, there's been a few other things going on here that I'm not going to even discuss. It's just, it's always, when it rains, it pours. It's never just, like, one thing or a couple little things. It's always, I don't know. So, yeah, that's my life update for now. I'm trying to stay positive. Need to get back on my little low-carb diet and exercising and drinking water, because eating all this crap the past week has done nothing for me but make things worse. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Cross your fingers for us. Send positive vibes our way.